The digital space is not always friendly, and so there are some dangers online that we need to teach our children. Some of these dangers has to do with strangers they meet online. Since we always educate our children not to just talk to total strangers they see on the street, or strangers that knock at our door, or strangers that meet them on their way going to school, or stranger in its totality they will meet anywhere. We wouldn't want them to start interacting with them and start sharing things with them. So also, when we want to give to our children digital device, we want to educate them not to just talk with random people on the internet, because a lot of those you see in the internet might pose to be good individuals who have their interest at heart, most especially when they know that they are children. They are going to uh, capitalize on that, and they want to manipulate them. So let's look at online stranger and the danger that is associated with online stranger. Most people you see there that pretend to be children are not children. They are just like wolf in sheep covering. They are just covering themselves as young individuals trying to navigate the digital space. So teach your young ones, whether preteen or your teenagers, because they might not know how to handle these strangers that might send them friend requests, that might chat them up. Let them know about things they are not supposed to share. Oversharing is not allowed. There are things that they are not supposed to share in the internet, their personal body areas. Putting on clothes, taking a selfie, very good. But as somebody is asking you to send private pictures. Now today, let's look at private pictures. Private pictures are pictures of your private areas. That's private pictures. And since in the real world, you wouldn't want to expose your private area to anyone, you don't want to do the same to strangers you meet in the internet, even those who may pose as your friends you know within your environment or your classmates. Try as much as possible, don't, so that you don't send your private pictures to them. Private pictures are private. And like I said in my previous video, there are some private pictures that are not even supposed to be either in your phones or you sending it out. You don't do such. Okay? Um, you want to keep this area secret. You don't share them out. Then, family information. Strangers may want to uncover some secrets about you and your family. And you know the easiest people to talk to are children. You let children know that there are some family information that are not supposed to be put out there. There are some information that are not supposed to be put out there. Sometimes young ones overshare. They overshare information that you might not even know. So you as a young person, if you as a caregiver, if you want these children to hold or to be gifted digital devices, make sure you educate them on oversharing. Make sure you educate them on things they shouldn't share. Make sure you educate them on cyber security. Because if you don't, there may be trouble along the line. So try as much as possible to make sure that your young individuals do not share too much online. There are cases of young ones sharing home address, family history, and a lot of other things that have put the family in danger. So before you allow your children to go on the internet, make sure you have digital education for them. Digital education is very important because it can predispose them for a lot of things if they are not well informed. So as a parent, as a caregiver, as a well-meaning adult, make sure that children, young ones, understand digital education. And digital education will protect them in the way they share information, in the way they discuss with strangers on the internet. If they find out that the strangers that are on the internet that are chatting them up are not people they want to relate with, they can just block them. They can tell a meaning adult and they can just stop chatting with such an individual. So let them know that strangers remain strangers. They shouldn't just start discussing with anyone, and they shouldn't overshare information. They shouldn't share their private picture. They should have boundaries when it comes to using the digital space. We'll talk about some of these boundaries. You don't just share photos, even if it is of your friends, without their consent. And so we'll talk about digital boundaries, things you are supposed to do on the internet, okay? Things you are not supposed to do. We've talked about not talking to strangers. We've talked about not oversharing. We'll talk about respecting people's posts. You don't just go below people's posts and start talking randomly. You respect people. Respect is one aspect one aspect of life that children need to learn. Because if they respect others and respect themselves, they respect other people's boundary, they will not overstep their boundary. So as caregivers, make sure that these young ones, before they go to the internet and start sharing information or start chatting with people, teach them how to respect others and how to respect themselves. That way, they will be able to help themselves. There are a lot of cases out there of young ones falling prey to predators. Why? Because they were not well educated. Digital education is one education we want to teach our children. So caregivers out there, we want you to give out digital education to young ones. Digital education has to do with how they can navigate the online space, the internet space, without being hurt or harmed. So prepare these young ones if you want to gift them mobile devices that they can use so that they know how to handle such. And if at all they are on social media or they are using the internet, make sure you follow through and know what they are doing. Don't leave them to themselves so that they don't fall into trouble. Have discussion with them. Go through their phones. See those who are their friends. See those you can tell them that this is not a good friend. Be a good monitor. That is not intruding into their privacy. It is protecting them and keeping them safe from individuals that might pose to be young person that are not young person. So my message today is make sure that your children, those under your care, have digital literacy before you start allowing them to use the digital space.